Sports Talk Show. Your host is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest. Show highlight the Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. So delighted to have you join us here tonight. We're going to have a fantastic show, a lot to discuss, a lot to unpack here on a Friday night, but we're going to make sure we get through. You're more than welcome to go ahead and join us online at all social media platforms. I see people coming in right now. Before we get the show officially started, we're going to go ahead and thank one of our outstanding sponsors. That's right. My man right here. He's the GOAT. The GOAT. That's right. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you get this delicious sauce right here. You have a chance to get it right before Memorial Day. If you come on down, I'm going to show you how to do that. This sauce right here is outstanding. Right here, you can see it's made with Dunamis bourbon. That's right. This is only one of the three great flavors. You have bourbon, classic. You got honey mustard here too. This is awesome. Yep. All made here in Florida and made by a vet. That's right. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. It is definitely something that you want to take advantage of. Happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody. And guess what? You know, it's a situation where you get to honor the vets, but you also get a chance to eat some great barbecue. So there you go. You can go ahead and get this great sauce right there at 301 South 22nd Street, right there in Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, then you may have to get it after Memorial Day. You just have to go ahead and visit flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. Get yourself some outstanding sauce. Let us know how you thought about it right here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. So without further ado, we're going to play some great music for you throughout the broadcast, all by Sam Scola songs. I'm going to talk about Sam Scola songs a bit later, but you heard the first song of the intro, Sam Scola songs. Now you're going to hear another song. This is the Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce song by Sam Scola songs. Let's go.
Comes in for variety, Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure, you see right there, veteran created, made in the USA. Come on down to 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, it's okay. Visit Chef G's right there at flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. Try that great sauce. Let us know what you think right here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Really appreciate your Chef G's. Definitely happy. Well, I shouldn't say happy, but I should say Memorial Day is coming up. Veteran created right there. Made in the USA. So, yes, Memorial Day weekend is coming up. The school year here in Florida is coming to an end. And unfortunately, there was something else that came to an end. And that is, let me just go ahead and just respond to one of the chats here. Yeah, unfortunately, let me just put this up here real quick. Unfortunately, the Arlington Renegades season came to an end officially last weekend. And, man. So let me get into that a bit. The Renegades, let me go ahead and talk about what I feel is if one of the issues the Renegades had to deal with, and then I'll talk about how that game ended. Okay. The Renegades, as much as you wanted them to, because I covered the Renegades, wanted them to go ahead and make it to the playoffs, there was some warning signs that I saw throughout the season that I did ask the coach, as quarterback, Luis Perez. I did mention it a few times throughout the season. And unfortunately, those issues, some of those issues they kind of fixed, but some of them they kept letting them go on. See, this is the thing in life. When you get great feedback, that's on you to take that feedback and work it. You understand? When people are giving you feedback on certain things, not everybody's hating. Not everybody is saying something to make you feel bad or try to put you down or anything like that. They see an area of concern that if you don't address it, it will get worse and worse. And that's what happened with the Arlington Renegades. The concerns that I had seen, and I had mentioned it, was first and foremost the pre-snap penalties. They had way too many pre-snap penalties. For those who are not sure, the pre-snap penalty is false start, illegal motions, anything that where you don't start at 1st and 10, you're starting at 1st and 15 or 2nd and 15. Those are pre-snap penalties. They did get a lot better with the pre-snap penalties up until the Birmingham Stallion game. When they lost that Birmingham Stallion game, which a game they should have won, it seemed like they went back and reverted even worse than they did before the game with the pre-snap penalties. That right there is one of the things that if you're a very good team, a team that wants to make it to the playoffs, you cannot have pre-snap penalties. You have to keep that to a bare minimum. So they went really poor, very good, and then they went way back the other way to really poor after they lost the Birmingham Stallion game, which I did mention in some of those press conferences. Another thing that was an area of concern was the red zone efficiency. It seemed like when they got down to the red zone, they had to keep kicking and relying on kicking field goals. That's what their MO was. They went a span 24 possessions up until they scored the 24th time, 23 straight possessions without scoring in the red zone. That right there will hurt you, especially in the UFL, because in the UFL, you can kick a field goal, but if you do score a touchdown, or if the opposition, more importantly in this case, scores a touchdown, they can get a 1, 2, or 3-point conversion. So if you're just relying on field goals, it's just math. They get a 2-point conversion, they get a 1-point conversion, let's say, 3-point conversion, which not too many teams did the 3-point. Most of them went for 2 in most cases. That's going to put you behind the 8 ball. Pre-snap penalties. You're not scoring in the red zone. Here comes another thing that was a concern. The turnovers. They turned the ball over way too much. A lot of turnovers. It's very difficult for you to win games when you have pre-snap penalties. You are not showing good red zone efficiency, and you're turning the ball over. You're doing everything to hurt yourself instead of putting you in a position to win the game. That was a common theme that happened pretty much throughout the whole season. Pre-snap penalties, they were better on. They lost to the Birmingham Stallions, and that's where I think things went downhill. Last year, when they lost the first game to the Birmingham Stallions, I feel as if because of that loss, they carried that loss on for many, many games. I don't know what it is, but when they play the Birmingham Stallions and they don't win, it's almost like it bleeds into the rest of the season. They played the Stallions, not the first game, but I believe it was around game 4, game 3 or 4, could be mistaken on that. And they lost, and it seemed like their pre-snap penalties got a lot worse than it was even before the game. They lost focus. And another thing that I kind of mentioned it, but I didn't directly mention it, was the trust factor. You could tell as the season went on, the player to the right or the left of the team, they didn't trust one another. They didn't trust their teammates. You could tell. You didn't trust their teammates. What I mean by trust their teammates is they didn't trust their teammates to help them with the play, to help them win the game. When you play football, you have to trust your teammates. You're one of 11 that are on the field at a time. You have to trust your teammates. And you could tell as the season went on, they started to lose trust in one another and confidence in this other person's ability to make a play or help the team win. So they started taking on more of a hero role. And with that might get you a game or two, but it went downhill from there. So the DC Defender game, fast forwarding to that, I'm one of the people who always tries to say, hey, it's not just one play that hurts you or helps you win a game. It's usually a combination of plays. When it came to the DC Defender game, it unfortunately, that particular game did come down to the one play because up until that point, regardless of what happened prior to that last drive, if you score a field goal, you send the game, in a sense, to overtime for a shootout. The Renegades were well within field goal range. I mean, the thicker kicker is their name, but he has a range of 56 somewhat yards. They were well within field goal range. It was a chip shot field goal where things turned. When I spoke to Luis Perez about that play, let me back up a little bit. The first time they played the DC Defenders, I will let you guys know, when I was watching the game, there was a point in the game where they were driving, the DC Defenders. They were around the 2 or 3 yard line. And I thought Fred Kais, who was the offensive coordinator, did something genius. He goes, hey, he tells the quarterback, Jordan Tiamo, Jordan, you don't need to force it. We're going to run an offensive play to try to score. But if you don't see the play, if it's not wide open, don't force it because you have a field goal here. It wasn't anything that he said was rocket science, but I thought it was genius because of the timing. And he reminded Jordan, hey, you have a field goal here. You don't have to play hero. And I know because you got the pigskin, it's a human element. You're down there, they call a play. Sometimes the quarterback, I've seen it, whether it be pro bowl, I've seen it in lower levels of football. You got that pigskin, you want to just throw it. He reminded him, you don't have to do it. We got a field goal here. Let's take the field goal. Thought it was genius because that really pretty much let me know that unless something changed, something got tipped or something like that, more than likely after he gave that reminder that Jordan wasn't going to force the ball. He wasn't going to do it. And lo and behold, here comes the Renegades driving on that play. And yeah, all that needed to be done was to spike the ball and kick a field goal to send the game into overtime. That's it. That's all that needed to be done. And that last pass, and a couple things. Number one, that pass not needed to be thrown. Period. There was no need for that play, that pass at all. That was number one. And number two, that pass was a floater. It was a hanger. It's almost like in baseball when you throw a hanging curve or you throw a hanging slider. Guys' eyes light up like a Christmas tree. Because if you throw a hanging curveball or slider in Major League Baseball, if that ball doesn't go 400 feet, consider yourself lucky. That pass was a hanger. It just hung up there. Easy for the defender to just cut the route and intercept it. I saw that play several different angles. He hung the pass up there. It just floated up there. And it was interception. The only thing that surprised me on that play was a few things. 3 things. Number one, the pass was thrown. Number two, it was a hanger. And number three, that Sal Cannella actually caught up to the defender, and it didn't go for a pick six. So the game was over. And what's tough about that play is that, in a sense, the season was over at that point. Game over, season over, all connected to that one play. And it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate to lose a game that way and to end your season that way. And I would have loved to see what would have happened in a shootout. I would have loved to see what would have happened because, Tyler Vaughns is doing big things. And that short Burnett, they're doing big things. And that short yardage, I would have loved to see what would have happened. And it wasn't meant to be. But I did ask Luis Perez if a reminder would have helped him at that point, and he was very candid and said no. As a quarterback, he already knows that. He didn't need a reminder. He owned up to that pass. He owned up to the play. And he, as in his words, said it was a bonehead mistake, and he should have just spiked the ball, relied on his teammate, the thicker kicker, to kick the field goal. And that's where the trust comes into play. When you're trying to do too much, that's what it is. And it reared its ugly head. Now, I will say this much as far as the Arlington Renegades. I don't know how this is going to play out, unfortunately, for Luis Perez. I don't know, because you can kind of see what's happening, and you also can see how this usually plays itself out in professional sports. Meaning, if Luis Perez decides to come back, you could tell he's almost going to be in a situation where it's kind of unfair, where you're going to have such a short leash, where if things don't go, if you're not popping and team's not winning like gangrene, like right out the gates, more than likely they're going to at least give someone else an opportunity. I could see that scenario happening very clearly, where if Luis does come back, it's almost going to be unfair in the regard that he's going to be in such a short leash. And in the book, The Spring King, he kind of likes to have a situation where he can, turn things around if things go badly. He doesn't want such thin ice. And I can understand that completely. But I just feel as if he does decide to come back, I've seen this movie before where somebody who's probably sitting back there will get an opportunity. And of course, if that person doesn't do well, then that goes back to Luis Perez. But if that person does do well, that's where things could get really, really confusing and complicated. So that's a decision for him to make. But it is a tough way to end the season, and we don't know. He wasn't sure if he's coming back or not, but we will see. I pray that he makes the right decision for him and his family. So we will see. That's going to be a big question mark come next season. With that being said, it is really cool that the UFL announced there will be a 2026 season. You can go ahead and purchase your season tickets, and you get special bonuses by renewing early or signing up early if you are not a season ticket holder. So there will be a 2026 season. You know what? They're in it for the long haul. That's the way that you could look at this. They're in it for the long haul, the UFL. So there will be a 2026 season. I'm going to talk about the conference championship. Yeah, I would agree with what some of the DC defenders did say. I totally would agree that it is not fair. And again, my team is out of the playoffs. I'm not hating on any of these 4 teams that are in the playoffs. One of these 4 teams will be hosting that championship. I have no hate or hating on any of them. To me, you get what you deserve, and you got to give credit where credit's due. But yeah, it does. Personally speaking, it is unfair that the conference championship is going to be held in St. Louis. The DC Defenders won home field advantage, and I get it. The field is not available. I understand that. But the game should have been played at a neutral site. It could have been played someplace else other than giving the opposition an advantage, because you're not just playing it in St. Louis. You're playing it in a place where the home team, St. Louis, now has a significant home field advantage. Just playing in that dome is not just playing any place. For example, if you play here in New Orleans, you play in that dome and you're a visiting team, you're not just playing any team. There's a reason why the New Orleans, the Saints, are virtually almost undefeated in the stadium. It is a significant home field advantage. So for the DC Defenders to have home field advantage and you playing in their stadium, yeah, that's unfair. And that comes into what I have to say about competition. Competition to me is the best in its purest form when it's fair. Level playing field, me versus you. You might get me, I might get you, but it's on a fair. There's nobody cheating here, nobody doing this, nobody doing that. We're competing. May the best man win. That's competition at its purest form. That's what you have to maintain. I get it. The St. Louis Battlehawks fans come in packs. They come deep. They are by far the biggest fan base the UFL has. Now, I will say this much, being fair. The Battlehawks fans are not just supporting the Battlehawks. There is an alternative motive there. Yes, they're supporting the Battlehawks, but the alternative motive behind that is they want to go ahead and show to the NFL they deserve to have a second chance to get a team back in there. So it is twofold. Don't try to buy the hype. It's not just supporting the UFL. It's supporting UFL with an agenda to get the team back in there, an NFL team back in there. So, having said that, it is a significant advantage by giving the Battlehawks home field advantage in the conference championships. I still think, my opinion, the DC Defenders are going to win in the conference championship. I still think, see, sometimes when you give somebody the homie hookup, not only does it make it kind of obvious, but I feel like it also has some bad karma to that too. So I am picking the DC Defenders to win in the conference championship against the Battlehawks. And I know it's becoming very obvious to me, just looking at it. The league is really wanting the Battlehawks to at least make it to the championship game. They want the Battlehawks to at least make it to the championship game, if not win it all. It's very obvious because, okay, you're having two games back to back. Let's say, if I'm incorrect and the Battlehawks win, that are in St. Louis. Well, who has the biggest draw? St. Louis. So I think competition has to stay pure. I get it that the league might want to have the Battlehawks in there for obvious reasons, but you still got to keep competition pure. And I think the home field advantage was not that's hard for you to kind of say you're keeping competition pure and keeping it evil and keeping it even. I love what Jordan Tiamo said. They should have played it in a neutral site, or they could have played it right there in Arlington. Save money. He said it right. Save money. Save travel costs. Play in Arlington. But they're not. They're going to play both the conference championship, that's the XFL side, there in St. Louis, and the championship game will be in St. Louis. A lot of fans have been mentioning this to me throughout the season. Even, I do cross paths with a lot of Battlehawk fans about The Rock and his participation in the league. Let's just say it like that. Yes, I do. It's not been made official, but I do feel as if you guys, the St. Louis Battlehawks fans, whether the Battlehawks make it to the championship game or not, I do feel as if The Rock will be in attendance for the game. He did share the post of the conference championship on his Twitter account, and he did share it on an Instagram account very recently. So I feel as if he did share that information, it lends that he's going to be at the championship game. So, yeah, I know a lot of fans were questioning that if he's going to show up. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to say The Rock does show up for the championship game. That's my kind of piece on that. The league didn't make it official. He didn't say it. He did post it up, but I just feel as if I believe he's going to show up for the championship game, The Rock in St. Louis. So I know a lot of fans really are upset about that he hasn't come sooner, but I feel as if you're going to get that wish for the championship game. That is my feeling on it. And with the championship game, you gotta expect some other VIP guests to come on through. That's just it's a championship game. I mean, I went to the last two. You had Kurt Warner, Tom Brady, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm not so sure about Tom showing up. He could. He very well could. However, the game is going to be broadcast on ABC and not Fox. That does make a difference. Last year, it was televised on Fox. Tom Brady was at that time getting his practice in to start the NFL season as the broadcaster. And that's why he was there. That need is not there with you have ABC broadcast game. He can still show up, of course. He still can be there, but that is a dynamic you have to consider. So I was actually surprised it's being broadcast on ABC versus Fox because of the fact that they have that partnership with Fox. But yes, being at it's going to be an ABC, and year later, Tom doesn't have to be there to practice, and obviously there won't be practice for him because he's being on another network. He could still show up, but we will see. We will see. Something to look out for. So that might be a change. It might be The Rock instead of Brady It could be maybe both. We will see. We will see. So I'm going to give you some more information about the playoffs and the championship game next Friday. I'm going to give you more details about that. I'm the type of person who doesn't like to make premature announcements. I want to make sure I get things buttoned up and make sure it's confirmed first. So look out next week. Next Friday, I'm going to make an announcement as far as the championship game and the playoffs. I will let you guys know that. So what we're going to do is switch a little gears here. Let me just go ahead and do something here. We're going to go ahead and talk Major League Baseball news. Major League Baseball news, and what I'll do also is kind of bring this up for you guys too. So we're going to talk MLB. And big time shout out to the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves, I got to give credit. They reached out to me via email and just out of the blue, and they had a press release for me. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. That's awesome. And that's God right there, man. You could just be ho-humming along, and then you get a press release, and then things change, So I actually, I actually tried in a way to not kind of do too much Brave stuff, just because I have a friend in the media that covers the Braves, and lo and behold, they reach out to me. So this is cool. And so expect some more information from the Braves. So the Atlanta Braves, they sent me this press release. The Atlanta Braves and the Native American community, they have the roster set. So the rosters are now set. So the 2025 roster for the 4th annual Native American All-Star Baseball Showcase happening on June 21st and 22nd at Truett Park. The top 50 high school baseball players from Native American descent will represent 31 tribes and 22 states and Canada. I'll read some of the press release. The Atlanta Braves released today that the final roster for the 4th annual Native American All-Star Baseball Showcase, hosted by the Braves at Truett Park from Saturday, June 21st through Sunday, June 22nd. These top 50 high school baseball players from Native American descent represent 31 tribes across 22 states and Canada. Among those selected include 5 athletes from Braves County, Georgia, and North Carolina, with Cherokee, Chibagua, and Eastern Band of Cherokee Indian tribal affiliations. So that is awesome. And let me just see here. And you can see the whole roster right there at the Facebook page, the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show Facebook page. You can see the entire roster there. Thank you to the Braves for the full roster. So congratulations to the top 50 high school baseball players with Native American descent. That's the key. Represented 31 tribes. So thank you to the Atlanta Braves, and we made a great connection, and we're going to share some more Atlanta Braves insight and a lot of Braves press releases. So more to come. Thank you to the Braves there. And continuing on with Major League Baseball, we got more to discuss. So nice thing is, if you haven't seen the post already, the great thing is the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show will be returning for a second year in a row to cover the 2025 National Baseball Hall of Fame induction. So that is outstanding. I'm excited about that. That is fantastic. And really props to Major League Baseball, props to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. It's an honor to cover that weekend. Congratulations to the inductees, and it's gonna be a fantastic weekend. And let me go over that with you. The 2025 Hall of Fame class is gonna be Dave Parker, Dick Allen. May Dick Allen rest in peace. We have here CC Sabathia, and also Billy Wagner and Ichiro Suzuki. And yes, so Ichiro is going to be the first Japanese player to be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm expecting a lot of media from Japan. They support. So expect to see that. And props, let me just go ahead and give major props to Hall of Famer CC Sabathia. He saw the post and he liked it. So props to CC Sabathia. Really appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing CC again. I did CC the East versus West game, and it was, there was just a lot going on. I didn't get a chance to interview him. And then there was a time I was going to approach him, but he was giving golfing advice and lessons to Ryan Howard. I was like, let me not interrupt that. And I was like, you got to feel a vibe out. And I was like, let me not interrupt CC Sabathia talking to Ryan Howard, giving him his golf swing tips right there in the Hall of Fame, actually, of all places. I said, let me not interrupt him. But he was right there. And on the field, it was a lot of things going on in the East versus West game. So I didn't get a chance to interview him. But the great thing is, everything happens for a reason. I will definitely get a chance to see CC Sabathia and talk to him and officially meet him like face to face. So that'll be really cool during Cooperstown weekend. And he already got a little intro on me because he saw the post and he liked it. So props to CC Sabathia, and I really appreciate that. He liked it in the story, the Instagram story. So yes, these are things that you guys don't see all the time behind the scenes. See, behind the scenes. So props to CC Sabathia. Props to all of the Hall of Famers. It's going to be very interesting. I was there last year, and it's going to be different than every year. And I'm expecting a lot of media because each row he travels deep with the media, and I expect it to be nothing less than that. So I'll give you a lot more insight on that as we get there. Appreciate the National Baseball Hall of Fame on that, and so expect us to be covering that. And when you cover Cooperstown weekend, it's you got to put some work in. It's not you're not just sitting around. It's got to stay busy, and that's why we intend to do. And I know that there is a wedding. I am going to attend that wedding too, so I don't want the party with the wedding to think that I'm not going to attend. I'm going to be there too. I can't be in two places at the same time, but we're going to make it work. We're going to make it happen. So don't worry about that. And also, I did want to let you guys know something too as well. I know I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But let me just bring up this event here. I'm not going to say what I was thinking, but I'll just say, yes, there is a Rays event that you should really check out. It's the last day of the month, and it's a charity yard sale at Tropicana Field. So that's what's interesting about it. May 31st from 11 to 2 in Lot 7. So the Tropicana Field charity yard sale. And the Tampa Bay Rays will host a charity yard sale benefiting the Rays Baseball Foundation ahead of the planned repairs of Tropicana Field. The Rays pre-construction charity yard sale will be on Saturday, May 31st in Lot 7 of the Tropicana Field from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Fans who attend will have the opportunity to purchase and stuff a bag with items including bobbleheads, Rays hats, Rays shirts, and other wearables. Previous promotional giveaways, Rays drinkware. Additional activities include face painters, a DJ, balloon twisters. Fans will also receive free hot dogs with proof of purchase while supplies last. So you'll get a free hot dog with proof of purchase. That's really cool. Let me just take a look here. What else is okay? In addition, this gets even better and better. In addition, fans who purchase a bag will receive a complimentary ticket voucher good for 2 tickets to a 2025 regular season game at Steinbrenner Field. Wow. This charity yard sale will benefit the organizations that align with the Rays Baseball Foundation's pillars and ultimately people in our community who need support. This is from the Rays Chief People and Culture Officer, Jen Tran. Since 2008, the Rays Baseball Foundation has provided more than $21 million to local nonprofits that work in education, social responsibility, youth development, and wellness. So I will make sure I post that up for you guys too, so that it's like, you know what, that's really cool. That's cool event. So make sure you guys go to not this Saturday, the next Saturday. You go to the Rays Tropicana Field charity yard sale. Hey, it's going to pay for itself. You just go in here, and it kind of reminds me of Fan Fest, where they had these nice, cool giveaways. If you missed the day during a promotion, you get a chance to get the bobblehead or the promotional item for a lot cheaper. Come there with your debit card, credit card, cash. Well, I don't know if they take cash there. Debit card or credit card for sure. And you get 2 tickets to a game. So check it out. And without further ado, we're going to bring the man, the myth, the legend right on. Hey, how you doing? Thank you, Lou. Everything good? Uh-oh. Give me 1 second. Uh-oh. Let me just refresh this. You there, Lou?
Hang on a second. Okay, we're back.
We're back. Okay, good. Whew. We're back. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I think I lost connection here.
Oh, that's all right. How you been?
As I say, I think we have a little bit of an audience. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, maybe you need to close some of your windows.
How are you there?
Yes, I'm here, buddy. You?
Yeah. Okay.
You there, buddy?
Okay, I'm still here.
Okay, good.
Woo. Yeah, I think I'm just having some connection problems.
Yeah. Did you change
Yeah,
rooms?
I'm having some connection problems. Yeah, I think I just changed the room. Well, I'm not in my usual location, so.
Okay. Yeah, it might be the internet connection. So, yes. Yeah. What are you watching as far as game?
Yeah, well, I have the next game on right now.
Oh, yes. Give us an update.
Right now, they're trailing. Knicks are trailing by 5 with about just about 9.5 minutes to go.
Okay. Glad you mentioned that. Do you think the Knicks are going to pull this off?
Well, I don't know. Knowing Indiana, it's always been a tough call. So they have, they are. I mean, yeah, we beat the Celtics, which of course was dramatic in itself. But Indiana, Halliburton is, quite the problem.
Yeah, you're right. He's a tough matchup. And for people who
Yeah.
don't know, the Pacers are ahead 1-0 in the series. They're up 94-89.
Mhm.
The fourth quarter with 7 minutes, 55 seconds. So there's still plenty of time left. The game is not out of hand
Plenty of
by any
time.
stretch.
It's been a close game throughout. No question about it. It's been a very close game, which I expected anyway. I didn't expect it to be a blowout either way.
Yeah. And you're right. You
Not at all.
definitely
So it is going as I thought it would.
you definitely, if you're the Knicks, you want to try to get this game to stay in the series. I think in any 4-game
Yeah.
series, not that you can't come back from down 0-2, but you want to try to avoid that as best as possible.
Yeah.
It's just if you win game
You have.
2, if you if you win game 2 and it's 1-1, you still feel as if you're still in a series and anything can happen. But if you go down 0-2,
Sure.
it's just not a good start.
No, it's happened before as well.
Yes. Pacers have a good team.
Yeah, we have about 7.5 to go.
Yeah, 7.5 to go. 94-89 is what I'm seeing. 97-89 now. Somebody scored a 3. Yeah, 97-89.
They're just pressing your shots. Okay, 97-92.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a tough game.
Back and forth we go.
Back and forth we go is right.
Yes.
So yeah,
it is as expected. So
so how's the Knicks
doesn't
fans
surprise me
been
at this
that they made it this far, the conference finals?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting us to beat Boston on their turf. And who would have thought the Cavaliers would lose to these Indiana Pacers? But then again, the Cavaliers were suffering some very serious injuries, so I think that might have done them in
Yeah.
when you really think about it, because injuries this time of year can really hurt.
Oh, absolutely. During this time of year, it's critical, especially the stars. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I have it 97-92 with just under 7 minutes to go.
Because this is doing it 97-94.
97-94. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, depending on who's delayed, of course, by a few seconds.
Yes.
And we got the WNBA back in session too. Liberty looks strong. Yeah, Caitlin still got some work to do. She's got to work, of course, on her mistakes from last year.
Do you see any improvement?
She committed a lot. I do see an improvement, but she did cause a lot of problems in her first year, which was expected. First year rookies. I mean, she had too many turnovers last year, so that was her problem.
So, if you had a chance to speak to Caitlin Clark, what do you think she needs to improve on year 2?
Work on the turnovers, because she made a lot of mistakes last year. I mean, she was a good shooter, but she made a lot of well, let's just say rookie mistakes.
It's just throwing it to someone who's not open, or they just stealing the ball from her.
Yes, to someone who's open.
Okay. Yeah, because she gets a lot of attention when it comes to defenders. She gets a lot of attention.
If I'd meet her, I would faint.
Yeah.
Well, there's two people. One is Anthony Dillon, one is not.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one. There's a local. There's one that's a local, somewhat a news magazine reporter, who is absolutely gorgeous. And let's put it this way: when I see her on television, she never fails to give me a smile. Oh yeah. She's not from your area though. She's only New York. She's not a national figure, but That's okay.
Yeah. So yes, tell us about what you got cooking tomorrow.
Well, of course, we're going to continue with the playoffs. We're going to cover, of course, recap the PGA tournament, and there was another thing that was there recap. Oh yeah, the Preakness Stakes that we got because that was a fight to the finish right there. So we got to take care of that. Uh, yeah, we're going to cover predictions for the Daytona 500. I'll try and cover maybe the Coca-Cola 600 and the other race that falls on that because hey, Memorial Day was Sunday, and of course, big race day.
Yes, that's right.
So
Big race day.
you don't get to say that though, right?
Yeah.
You don't get to say that one, right?
Yeah, and not only that, they got the new Dale Earnhardt series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so check that out, guys. That's on social
So
media now.
you
Not
know
social media, I'm sorry,
what you have
on
to do here about that. But wait, you know what you got to do about the race thing, right?
what's that?
Well, it's Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Get ready for Racing Day's triple header.
Yeah, so
If you're not there, you better have a pulse. Oh boy,
yes.
I know. I yuck it up a lot.
So yes, check that out. Dale Earnhardt.
Yes,
Yep, he got a new it's on
right. And of
Prime
course, we'll
Video.
check on. Yeah,
Prime
we'll also
Video.
check on WWE because there was a big story about next year's WrestleMania, or actually this year's WrestleMania. So we're gonna discuss that. A change of venue for next year because well, there was a lot of problems around Philadelphia at the last
Okay.
time out. So we're going to discuss that. We're also, yeah, I think we're going to touch on the sad news of the week, as most of you know, the owner and CEO of the Indianapolis Colts recently just passed away, Jim Irsay, and yeah, we're going to discuss that a little bit.
Yes, indeed. I'm glad you did mention
Yes,
that because
yeah, like I
yeah,
said, as a
we're gonna
reporter, as much as I hate to bring the sad news to the sports world, it is our obligation to do so.
yes, absolutely. In fact, yes, I'm glad you
As a reporter, well,
mentioned
I
that. In
call
fact,
myself a reporter. I don't know what the rest of y'all think, but I call myself a reporter.
absolutely. In fact, we're gonna do that now. We're gonna go ahead and pay tribute
Yes,
to Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, who unfortunately did pass away this week. So may he rest in peace. I know a lot of people. He seemed like a really
yeah,
down to earth owner. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Jim Irsay, but
neither have
from all
I.
accounts, outstanding owner, really cool guy. So he's definitely 65 years young. He's going to be missed.
That's this.
So
That's the strangest thing. I thought he was older.
yeah, I thought so too. But no,
Right.
he's 65 years young and
We don't really know the actual term of the cause. So,
right.
hopefully, yeah. He, according to what I heard, he just said he died peacefully in his sleep. So that can mean well anything.
Yes. And in fact,
Yeah. Unless you got information I don't know about.
let me just take a look here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and we see. Yeah, so that's definitely unfortunate, and
Yes.
definitely prayers go out to the family, go out to the NFL family, go out to the team, and anybody affected. And so, what we're gonna
Yes.
do is go ahead and give a moment of silence for Jim Irsay here on the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show. We're gonna do that right now. In fact, give me one moment. Yes, so that's a moment of silence for Jim Irsay, who unfortunately did pass this week. Yes, so yeah, so you're gonna have a great show. You're gonna have a great show.
Oh, of course, we got our other features with the ridiculous sound of the week. I think I found one. Sports trivia with Diane, as you all know. Uh, yeah, this week in sports history. Actually, today in sports history because I found a list last week and it was much shorter, so that won't take up the final few minutes, all the final few minutes. And of course, your thoughts and comments are always welcome. So, if you got time between 4 and 6 tomorrow, it's Eastern time. Wait, you're it's right on the floor panhandle. The time change, right? That's on the panhandle.
Yes,
Okay, so you're not affected. All right, so 512-543-4662 from 4 to 6 tomorrow. Don't forget, we're now on Facebook Live and now, and you can still like and share the Facebook page.
that's
I
right.
think.
So the Enhanced Sports Show is on YouTube as well as Facebook Live from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard
I
Time
don't
Zone.
think we're on. Yeah, I think we're on YouTube, but I don't. But we're not on Streamer anymore. But I think we're still on YouTube.
Still on YouTube. So that's awesome. 4 to 6 p.m., folks, from Eastern Standard Time Zone tomorrow, Saturday. And you're always welcome to call in 512-543-4662. 512-543-4662. Lou from the Enhanced Sports Show will definitely be an awesome voice to talk to.
Thanks.
I show it's 108 to 99. Fourth quarter, 3 minutes and 21 seconds left. What do you show?
Right. 108, 100,
108, 100.
312.
Yeah, they need to get some scores quickly. That would be the Knicks.
Yeah.
But
Okay, there's
yes,
your chance.
definitely always a pleasure to have the
Shoot
man,
it.
the myth,
Shoot
the
it.
legend, Lou from the Enhanced Sports Show. Really appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Oh, you're welcome. Always a pleasure. Take care of yourself.
Right on. Thanks.
You're welcome. Now, yeah, that's awesome. We got Lou. Yeah, 108 to 100. It's they got to make sure they go ahead and get some points. So, yes, again, if you want to speak to Lou tomorrow, the Enhanced Sports Show, 512-543-4662, 512-543-4662. Check out my man Lou. And, yeah, so let me give you guys a score on that. 108 to 100. Last quarter, 3 minutes and 21 seconds left. Indiana Pacers are ahead 1-0 in the series. Tomorrow, 8:30 p.m., you're going to have game 3, and OKC is ahead of the Timberwolves in that series 2-0. Indiana is, yeah, so, yeah, the Knicks better do something quick. Yeah, the Pacers just keep scoring. Let me just take a look here. Okay. Let me just see here. And yeah, so definitely one thing that I did want to mention to you folks is that look out next Friday. We're going to have some additional announcements, and I have some really cool things I'm working on here this week. So I will continue to share those with you guys as well. And we're going to have a fantastic time. We're going to So I got some things in the oven, cooking in the oven for you guys. So keep make sure you stay up to date with the YouTube page. Make sure you definitely stay connected on all social media. That is Facebook, Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Instagram, just type in Alan Alford, and X, Alan Alford. Definitely don't forget to do that. And also, the great thing is you definitely will have access to this as well. The website right there, Alan Alford sportstalkshow.com. Alan Alford sportstalkshow.com. Make sure you check that out as well. And definitely want to take this time to thank our songwriter right there, producer, Sam Scola Songs, and his wife, Mary. They're the musicians for the great music you hear throughout the broadcast. The beginning, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, that's all by that man right there. All of the great music that you hear on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show is available on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure you check that out, YouTube and Spotify right there. Sam Scola Songs. And what we do here at the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show, we believe in transparency. Well, guess what? You're going to have an opportunity to reach and meet Sam Scola Songs right there at singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Singalongwithsam@gmail.com. No spam, though. Deals and opportunities. No spam. So singalongwithsam@gmail.com. That's how you can reach the man, the myth, the legend right there, Sam Scola Songs. He's got some new music, too, that you can also listen to as well there on YouTube and Spotify. So definitely check that out. And thank you so much, Sam Scola Songs and beautiful wife, Mary. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate all that you do here on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. And yes. So nice thing is, let me give you an update on the score here. Knicks coming back. Okay, it's not over yet. 110 to 107 with a minute and 6 seconds left. So they're right there. So, yes, they're hanging tough. For a moment there, I thought they were going to fade off. Knicks got fight. They got fight in them, which is awesome. And let me also talk a little racing here, since we mentioned about. Let me just go ahead and pull this up here for you guys here. Give me, oh, whoops. Sorry about that. Let me do this. Okay, let me see here. All right. It's going to be awesome here. Let's see here. All right. So, yes, we got some racing news. Darren Krantz Jr. has a race tomorrow at South Boston Speedway. You're up next. So, Darren Krantz Jr. and the gang back at Sobo for twin LMSE 75s. And, yeah, South Boston Speedway. So, the gates open at 3:30 p.m. Green flag is at 7 p.m. Let me, in fact, do something also for man Darren Krantz. And really appreciate Darren Krantz Jr. He's the one who did the interview here with the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Extremely cool. And let me pull this up here. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up so you guys can see it here. Okay. This is the man right here. This is tomorrow. See? There he is. Darren Krantz. LMSE Twin 75s. Green flag. 7 p.m. Gates open at 3:30 p.m. And that's at South Boston Speedway. Darren Krantz Jr. is going to go ahead and try to do his thing, get another W. Number 77. There he is. That's awesome. Best wishes to Darren Krantz Jr. Go get him. Go get him. Wish him the best. So yeah, so wanted to give you guys that. That's some awesome thing. So that was the racing news there. And also, if you missed that announcement, the nice thing is Dale Earnhardt Jr., Prime Video, get a chance to see a really cool series about him. For that's the nice thing is. Let me see here. Okay. Yep. So let me give you some information on that. The 4-part Dale Earnhardt documentary, Earnhardt, is available exclusively on Prime Video. It premiered yesterday on May 22nd with 2 episodes, and the remaining 2 episodes were released on May 29th. So that's coming up. The series can be accessed through Prime Video app and various devices on the web. So, yes, check that out. Check that out. And you also can watch NASCAR on Amazon Prime Video starting May 25th. That's this weekend. Sunday, you can watch. So Prime Video is taking over everything, man. Okay, 113 to 109. 4 seconds left. 114 to 109 now. 4 seconds left. Not looking too good for the Knicks. But yes, that game is still it's finishing up. And yeah, we got a lot of great things that are coming on here. A lot of great events that I'm going to talk to you about as well that are coming up next Friday. Check that out. And let me see here. Let's see. 114 to 109. 4 seconds left. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, so that game's it's 114 to 109. Oh, yes, I did want to mention something too. Let me just take this down here. And I know that game was thrilling towards the very end. The Arlington Renegades versus the DC Defenders game. I know they switched networks the last minute and 59 seconds. Yeah, they did have the playoff game that was starting. The game was running a little long, and they did say, watch the rest of it on ESPN2. So, yes, you would have liked to watch the end, but that's what happened. The game ran a little long. You had a playoff game, an NBA playoff game. So, I can understand why they had to bump the network. They did, and that's why you guys need to support more. You need to go ahead and buy more tickets, get more views, so make them think twice. It is a final now. It is 114 to 109. Indiana Pacers go up 2-0 against the Knicks. 114 to 109. It is official. 2-0. And if you're Knicks fans, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I wanted to make sure I gave you guys that before we call it a wrap here on another great episode of the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Got some great things that is going to happen this weekend and this week. I also going to give you guys a nice announcement too next Friday. Don't want to make sure I give away too much too soon, but that's going to be really cool. And yes, so definitely really appreciate you guys. Let me go ahead and just say, thank you for watching another great episode of the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. And one person you definitely want to make sure that you don't forget this weekend is one of our great sponsors, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting. you may need a support group. Make sure you don't forget, when you eat your great barbecue, you do a little toast and you include some Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. This sauce is fantastic. This is the classic. This is the bourbon made with Dunamis bourbon. See right there? Dunamis Premium Spritz Bourbon. You can get this great sauce. Delicious. Enjoy it for Memorial Day. Definitely rest in peace to all our wounded warriors, veterans, and people who have served this great country. Make sure you get that great sauce and you eat it in their honor at right there, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. If you can't come down to Tampa, it's okay. You can feel free to visit Chef G's right there at FLBBQSauce.com, FLBBQSauce.com. Don't forget that great sauce. We're going to go ahead and play that Sam Scola song, the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song. Let's go.
Comes in four varieties, Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs, tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you don't forget to get that great sauce right there at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, that's all right. Visit Chef G's, get some great sauce right there at FLBBQSauce.com, FLBBQSauce.com. Don't forget that great sauce. Thank you so much, Chef G's. Really appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Definitely. Memorial Day is where we honor people who served our country. Don't forget, we appreciate everyone that is connected to our service, because it's not something that everybody does. So appreciate it. So I appreciate you guys too, always here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Thank you so much for people who chatted in. Thank you so much for Lou joining in. Thank you for the opportunities this week. Thank you for the opportunities following. Really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you joining us here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Be blessed, be well, take care of yourself, and have a great weekend.
It's the end of the show. Let's thank all the fans before we go. It's the end of the show. The Allen Allen Sports Talk Radio Show. Thanking our special guest. Thanking our sponsor. It's the end of the show. Tune show. It's the end of the show. Thanking our host before we go. It's the end of the show.